Congratulations on being newly listed on the CSE. Hi, my name is Barrington Miller, Director of Issuer Engagement at the Canadian Securities Exchange. Today, I'm here with a familiar face, Evan Gappelberg of you may know him from Next Tech AR, proudly listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange, but that's not why we're here. We're here because he has a brand new, exciting listed company called ARWay. Evan, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Great to be back with you, Barrington.
Now, for those of you who may not know Evan, he's a longtime friend, supporter, and customer of the Canadian Securities Exchange. And we've done a few podcasts, a few shows, whether it's been Tech Tuesday, talking about the metaverse, as well as podcasts featuring Next Tech AR. So his face may be familiar, not just a good-looking guy, but also a good CEO. Let's talk about ARWay and what does ARWay do?
Sure. So I think it's also important to talk a little bit about the history of ARWay. So we acquired ARWay from a teenager, a 17-year-old. Yes, in 2020.
I'm so old. Oh my God.
I know. Can you even remember what you were doing when you were 17? You know, so
yeah, not appropriate for this program.
Exactly. 17-year-old out of the UK. He was kind of the idea guy, and then you had this kind of techie coder out of India who was the 21-year-old. And the two of them created this company called ARWay, which was augmented reality wayfinding. And they, had like a proof of concept, but they were, it was a very interesting technology. And I really liked the two founders, and I decided that we would acquire them for $1 million. And I said, you're 17, you're 21, you guys, you're gonna be millionaires at this young age, right? But they got stock in Next Tech. They're still holding their shares. They're still with Next Tech. It's now fast forward almost a year and a half later, and we're spinning out that ARWay acquisition as its own public company because it really is a very, very special, very unique technology platform. And, just to answer your question, and by the way, Next Tech owns 50% of ARWay's shares outstanding, which I guess we could get into in a minute, like the cap structure. But wayfinding, everybody uses Google Maps or Waze, right, to go from point A to point B. Okay, that's in your car. But what happens when you get out of your car and you walk into the airport, or you walk into a museum, or you walk into, some office building, some hospital? What do? You ask, hey, can you direct me to such and such? And so indoor wayfinding today is a poor experience. It's using beacon technology. So you have to install hardware, and then you have this blue dot on a flat screen that kind of signifies to you where you are, and then you could wayfind. And it's just a bad experience. I've done it. It's not exciting. So augmented reality wayfinding is the new technology that we're launching, that we've actually just launched with ARWay, where you go in to a building, you scan a QR code, there's no hardware, there's no upfront costs, and the next thing you know, you're in this immersive, experiential wayfinding experience that is highly engaging. I would even go so far as to say addicting, and extremely, extremely potent in that it's able to bring you to your location with centimeter accuracy.
Now, do you need to know the layout of the building? Do you need blueprints? Any of that beforehand in order to in order
So
for ARWay to
to
activate
work.
and to work?
Yes. Yeah. So there is some setup involved, but it's a no code out of the box platform. So basically, we ingest a floor plan into our studio. We do need that. And then we size that floor plan to scale inside the studio. And then inside the web studio, you drop the pins, the points, the wayfinding points that you want people to travel to and from. And so that's what you would do if you're providing this wayfinding experience. The visitor would just walk into the building, scan a QR code, and the magic happens.
How long does it take for ARWay to set up?
So that's another huge benefit. Our competitors, because they have hardware that they need to install on site, it could take as much as 3 months to set that up. We can set up in 3 hours.
Evan, every time you come on the show, you just completely blow me away every single time. One of the questions that pops up into my mind has to do with security. How secure is this? And are you getting any resistance from certain buildings and certain companies, organizations, all of those things?
So it's hyper secure. It's already GDPR compliant. And so, we're aware of that. But I mean, let me put it to you this way, Barrington. We're getting, we just started, right? We just launched this. We haven't even started marketing this. There's no paid marketing. You could go to our website, arway.ai, and see what this offering is. But we've already been engaged by NASA. We've already been engaged by the EU. We've already been engaged by a number of high-profile museums. We've already been engaged by one of the largest travel agencies in the world. There's malls in Dubai and Saudi Arabia. There's malls in Singapore. There's a lot of excitement for this technology. Why? Because everybody's looking for an indoor wayfinding solution without the hardware, without the blue dot technology, without the beacon technology. And that's what this represents. This is a disruptive technology that we're bringing to market. It's going to disrupt the entire $44 billion indoor navigation market. And it really is just another way that you can use augmented reality, which is, Next Tech AR solutions. This is another way to use augmented reality in people's daily lives, where it really helps people to navigate, to get from point A to point B. And then if you take it one step further, Barrington, so imagine you're on this navigation path. So you walk into a mall and, I want to go to, maybe it's Starbucks. So you literally just drop down menu, Starbucks, the arrows are visible on screen and they're pulsating and telling you which way to go. You start traveling down this path and there's a 3D advertisement, let's say for a Starbucks latte, save 5%, get a gift card, or whatever the promotion is at that time. But if you think about this, there's enormous opportunities. Once you have people using it, you could start serving up ads. You could bring in the 3D models that we make with our other business for e-commerce, and on it goes into this world of augmented reality and really the metaverse.
Ooh, that's a nice little segue. The metaverse and using this, how would it work in the metaverse? And if you haven't checked out our episode on the metaverse, it came out, it's on YouTube, you can check it out, CSE TV. Evan was nice enough to lend his insights, and I think it was one of the most highly watched Tech Tuesday CSE episodes. So yeah, just touch a little bit on that and how it works with the metaverse.
So we see this as, the next generation augmented reality wayfinding for the real world metaverse. That's what we see this platform as. The real world metaverse means not the VR, escape reality metaverse, not the metaverse you see in Ready Player One. This is the metaverse where you're walking and going about your day just like you do today, but it's digitized, it's 3D. You're walking around, maybe you're wearing the glasses that we've talked about before, the AR glasses, or maybe you're just on your phone using our next generation augmented reality wayfinding solution, and you're having this experience because there's 3D, like I said, ads, 3D models. It's a full-on immersive experience, and that's really what the metaverse is, where you're living inside a computer. And from our customers' perspective, they're able to track and measure using analytics where people are congregating, where people are going, what can we do to improve people's experience, inside this mall or inside an airport. We're able to track where people are and what they're doing inside of the wayfinding experience. And the best part is that you don't need to be a coder. You can do this, Barrington. You can be a guy who sets up an indoor. I set it up in my apartment the other day in Tampa. I went to visit my kids, and they have an apartment, and we scanned the apartment, created the map, dropped the wayfinding. I just wayfinded from the front door to the balcony, but it worked inside of 5 minutes. It was amazing.
I was going to ask you about your competition. Is anybody doing this? Like you mentioned the beacon technology, but is anybody here, or is it just ARWay?
We are pioneers. We are doing the pioneering work. I'm there's a very, very small number of augmented reality wayfinding solution providers, but there's nobody that offers it with no code and no hardware. Everybody else uses some kind of additional CapEx spend, again, like the beacons or some ultra wideband technology. We've cracked the code on making this super simple. Anyone can do it. You could change the content on the fly. So let's say, for argument's sake, it's an airport wayfinding experience and a plane gets delayed. You can actually update inside the wayfinding experience. If somebody's wayfinding to gate 63 to catch a flight from Toronto to New York, you can update on the fly, real time. Flight's delayed. Hey, take a break at again, the coffee shop. You have 45 minutes to your next flight. That's just super, super user friendly, super exciting, and everybody's going to be using this. I'm predicting, Barrington, that this is going to push indoor wayfinding into people's lives and into the forefront of really technology that gets used on a daily basis. Like, think about the things you use every day. Well, you use your Google. I mean, if you're driving and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm always on my Google Maps, right? Okay. The weather, right? The news, maybe your stock quotes, right?
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. Like, what do you look at every day? There's only a few things. Now,
Yeah.
I believe that this is going to become one of those things that you use every day. That you walk into a building, you scan a QR code, you're in your augmented reality experience, and you're loving it. It's not like, it's almost like your friend, it's like, and so it couldn't be more excited to be bringing this to market, and I think it's very, very close to being in some major, like if you think about, let's use Walmart Canada as an example. How many people walk through a Walmart Canada every day, every week, every month, every year? In Canadians, like, have you been to a Walmart Canada?
Oh yeah, I'm there all the time. I'm there all
Okay.
the time.
So what percentage of the population in Canada you think, there's probably like at least 60-70% go through there at some point, right?
At some point, yes.
Yeah. So what if we had our indoor wayfinding solution embedded into their app, the Walmart, app, so that when you walk in the door, you could find anything you want. Super easy, super simple. That's when it becomes ubiquitous, where again, like you get a big operator like a Walmart Canada, you get you get a couple of airports or travel companies, and the next thing you know, this technology is everywhere. And you and I are remembering this conversation that we're having, here today, and saying, remember when you just launched?
I remember way back when, back in 2022. I was just thinking, I went to a sporting event and watched the Maple Leafs play, and if it had been there, I could have scanned my ticket electronically, pulled up my ARWay, and got taken right to my seat. And on the way to my seat, there might be deals for food and beverage, or discounts off of Leaf jerseys, or whatever. I mean, this thing,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
exactly it.
it's limitless.
That's exactly it, Barrington. You hit the nail on the head. That's who we're talking to. Sports arenas, museums.
And there's a safety feature. If heaven forbid something happens on the west end or the west side of whatever building, you can get an alert. You can say, hey, let's, like, don't go down that area, diverting people. There's so many hospitals.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, this is
yeah. It's exciting. Museums are my favorite. Is the museums, because I love museums, but I hate museums. I love I love the potential of learning, but I always walk out feeling like I missed, most of what I should have been able to see or hear or absorb. So I'm not going to put on a clunky headset for a guided tour. I'm not going to. I don't want to join, let's say, a group in a guided tour. So I end up going alone. There's only so much you could read, and there's so much content. And so imagine you could go through a museum and you have the guided tour in your ear. The wayfinding solution has audio capabilities, so that if you're in proximity of a painting, a sculpture, what have you, all of a sudden the audio kicks in and starts talking to you about the painting as if you're on a tour. And that's what I need. That's what I need. That's what I'm assuming everybody needs when they walk into a museum. And you'll be able to see augmented reality experiences. There'll be a hotspot on, let's say, the statue or the painting that'll elaborate a bit more if you want to learn more. So I'm excited for that, as crazy as that sounds.
You know what? And I was sitting here thinking, because I like museums as well, and the museum itself can then start curating certain tours,
Yeah.
ones that, based on patterns and trends that they see, something for children versus teenagers versus adults. No, this is amazing, Evan, and kudos to you and your team. Kudos to the 17 and 21-year-old who are now millionaires. But
Well, now
Evan,
they're 19. They're like almost. I think they're 19 and like 23 now.
and there's so much more to come with this. Evan, I just want to say, on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange, thank you once again for bringing a another quality tech listing to the CSE and for choosing us as your home destination. If you'd like this program and want to hear more, check out www.thecse.com. We're also on your favorite social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube, and Instagram. Oh, Evan, you have the
Yes.
final word.
Yes, before you jump off, everybody, to all the listeners out there, I just want to give kudos. I really love the CSE, and I just want everyone to know we tried to list on another exchange. It was a complete disaster, and we came back. Think about that. It's like, you break up with somebody because you think you found somebody better, and then you come back and you're like, I love you, I love you. And that's how I feel about the CSE. It was a crazy, crazy experience. But now I want you to know I'm going to stick with the CSE. I love the CSE, and I think anybody that understands what it is to be an entrepreneur and how difficult it is. There's no other exchange that is perfectly aligned with the entrepreneur mindset, and these small spin-offs or small public companies that go public. The CSE really is perfectly aligned. I can't say it enough, Barrington. I love you guys.
Well, Evan, we love you too. And thank you for the kind words. It does, we're all in it together. And when you look good, we look good. And on that note, I've been your host, Barrington Miller. This has been a newly listed clip with ARWay. Check it out.
ARWY, right?
Perfect.
Yes.
ARWY, trading on the CSE. I've been your host, Barrington. This is Evan, and we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks.